Let's get into the trending topics now, and let's find out what our number one trending topic is. Well, having a look at it's sort of very dominated by the top two. So, Godongwana. And the background behind all of this is that the finance minister, Godongwana, is taking leave. They're saying that he needs a bit of leave. He's not feeling well, so he just needs to sort of take some time out. But having said that, the president has appointed Kgosientsho Ramokgopa as the acting finance minister in the country, and that was confirmed yesterday. And this is kind of in and amongst an energy crisis that we are going through, and it's basically saying, it's normal for ministers to act on behalf of their counterparts, but many people asking, well, what does that mean that deputy ministers are for? Like, what actual role does a deputy minister play if they don't step up to the plate when the minister is out of the way? So, yeah, it's quite an interesting conversation, and this opened up a big can of worms and lots of discussions. It really did.
Indeed. By no means a new conversation around deputy ministers because they are not members of cabinet, which is why they cannot they cannot basically step up if a minister is indisposed or takes ill or whatever the case may be. They literally need to appoint another member of cabinet to stand in. So again, the bill around deputy ministers,
indeed, the cost
what exactly do they do?
That's it.
This is what people are asking on social media platforms. But yeah, I don't know if this is just for now, another little storm in a teacup and then we're over it.
Yeah.
Or whether this is a conversation that we should seriously have, given the bloated cabinet that we have compared to other democracies and the size of cabinet. Is there sufficient return on investment in terms of having, for example, deputy ministers? These are all conversations I suppose will go on.
They certainly are, and we'd always heard that the president had always come in. When he came in, he was like, we're going to cut it down, the cabinet, it's too bloated, there are too many, and I think there was grand expectations that we would see a cut in deputy ministers, but instead, the polar opposite has happened. In fact, there's in some instances 2 deputy ministers, and the bill is higher and higher every single year and every month, in fact. I mean, and that's the reality. So, one can't blame the public for asking questions when a deputy minister, you'd think they'd be there to deputize and step up to the post, and yet they can't. So, yeah, it's a big conversation, and I think one that should be taken quite seriously in this financial time we're living in. All right, next trending topic. What have we got here? Okay, so we've spoken about Godongwana and deputy ministers.
Well, we got Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, well, he's got the American public talking. He was a former candidate in the running for the top position in the United States. Didn't make it, obviously, but he's been making his voice heard, and with regard to what's happening in Israel, talking about humanitarian pauses, but not necessarily a ceasefire. And again, an incident yesterday where apparently there was one of the members of the Senate wanted to basically have a fist fight with a witness. But Bernie Sanders, they say, was the only adult in the room who was able to de-escalate the situation. So, yeah, quite a few things around Bernie Sanders, but yeah, Americans are talking about it.
Yeah, have a look and see the video as well. He gets quite sort of, puts his foot down. It'd be nice to have such strength as a speaker in the House and just sort of stopping it in its tracks. So, yeah, that was quite an interesting one to watch. Al-Shifa, I mean, this one is that hospital that is in Gaza, and it's just a very sad state of affairs and sort of a story that it's hard to talk to. But the bottom line is that what the Israeli military is saying, that it's carrying out raids against the Palestinian Hamas militants, but this is in Al-Shifa Hospital. This is the Gaza Strip's biggest hospital, and basically has urged Hamas to surrender, because what they say is that they have found that Hamas is in the bottom of this hospital, and they found evidence that is where they're based. There's weapons, there's a whole bunch of things there. But the bottom line is it is a hospital, and this is leaving babies, newborn babies, children, people that are desperate for medical care now in
So,
a very bad situation.
Have they found the evidence of that?
You know, I actually watched the walk-through that they did. It was one of the press conferences that the Israeli military had given, and they were showing, you know, the different kinds of weapons down there and different, but they didn't, I personally didn't see them seeing any Hamas people down there. I mean, I just saw that that's what they had claimed was at the bottom of this
So
hospital.
that's the one end, and the other end, of course, is the indiscriminate bombing that people are decrying at this stage. So this is why Al-Shifa, as a hospital, being, you know, overrun is one of the leading trends.
Yeah, all right. So let's leave the trending topics there for now.